She blocked her husband for a peaceful trip. She returned to an empty home. I knew something was wrong the moment I put my key into the door. The silence wasn't normal. Not the comfortable silence of an empty house, the hollow kind. The kind that swallows sound and spits back nothing. My suitcase sat behind me, wheels still trembling from the long ride. My hand hovered, refusing to turn the key. A breath, a second one, a third. Then the door drifted open on its own. Unlocked. Always locked before, always. My heartbeat didn't speed up. It slowed, like my body understood before my mind could catch up. The house was dim. Curtains half open, half closed, like someone left in a hurry or didn't care enough to decide. My phone buzzed in my pocket, reminding me I had turned his number off for the entire week. A peaceful trip, I had called it. A joke when I said it. A small act of rebellion. Or maybe, escape. I stepped inside. Living room, empty. Walls, clean. Couch, still there, but the cushions looked disturbed, like someone had sat at the edge for hours, waiting for something that never came. Or someone. My voice cracked the silence. Daniel? Nothing. I walked deeper. Something cold crawled up my spine, a whisper urging me to turn around and leave. But I kept going, drawn by an invisible truth. Kitchen, sterile. Our wedding photo gone from the refrigerator. Not fallen, removed. Bedroom door half open. A faint smell lingered. His cologne, but faded. Old. I pushed the door fully open. And there it was. The closet. Empty. Every hanger naked. Every drawer open, like someone had ripped through them searching for something he desperately needed. Or needed to take. The final proof sat on my pillow. A single folded sheet of paper. My name written on top. Suddenly the week of silence didn't feel like a vacation. It felt like a countdown. And I had come home just in time to see what detonated. I didn't open the letter immediately, not because I was scared, but because I already knew the shape of the words inside. Guilt has a scent, a weight, a presence, and it had been sitting beside me long before I stepped through the front door. The truth is, I blocked him before boarding the plane. Not because I needed peace, but because the distance between us had already grown sharp, jagged, unbearable. He had become different, quiet, detached, watching his phone more than me, locking it, even in the shower, smiling at messages he never shared. I had told myself it was work, stress, fatigue, but deep down, beneath the layers of excuses, I felt it, the fracture. Small at first, then spreading, then impossible to ignore. The night before my trip, he hugged me too lightly. His hands barely touched my back. His breath stayed distant, not blending with mine like it used to. And when I kissed him goodbye, he turned his face a fraction. That fraction told the entire story. So I blocked him. A test, a punishment, a retreat. I told myself it didn't matter if he got angry. I needed the silence. But the truth was uglier. I wanted to see if he would notice, if he would fight for me, if he would try. He didn't. Not one email, not one message via friends, not one hotel call. Nothing. I opened the letter finally. The paper shook slightly, not from fear, from rage trying to hide under calm fingers. His handwriting sliced the page. If you can cut me out for a week, then I guess you don't need me at all. A hollow laugh escaped me. As if that was the reason. As if he wasn't already somewhere else, with someone else, long before I walked out that door. The rest of the letter was short. Too short for the years we spent together. Just one final line. I've gone to where I should have been a long time ago. Cryptic, cowardly, telling without telling. And suddenly, the silence around me felt full of secrets, full of footsteps that had walked out, full of betrayal trying to speak. I sat on the edge of the bed, letter hanging loosely from my hand. My heartbeat steadied, my breathing calcified. Something cold took shape inside me. People think heartbreak is chaos, wild, uncontrolled. They don't understand. Real betrayal makes you calm. I stood up, opened the nightstand drawer, and pulled out the second phone he didn't know I had found. The one he kept hidden behind his socks. Stupid place. Predictable. I charged it. When the screen finally lit up, it was like opening a coffin and finding it empty. Not a body, just the smell of something that used to be alive. Messages. Hundreds. All from one number. Unsaved, but not unrecognizable. Her. The woman he worked with. The woman he always said was just a coworker. The woman who laughed at his jokes too loudly. The woman whose perfume he came home wearing more than once. I scrolled. Their conversations were clean. Too clean. That was the biggest giveaway. People hiding an affair erase the mess. They curate. They edit their sins. But small cracks remained. Times, dates, locations. I could see the pattern instantly. He had been meeting her at lunchtime, every day, for months. He had bought her flowers, the same brand he used to buy for me. And the last message she sent, "Did you tell her yet?" A timestamp from 3 days ago. 3 days ago, while I was lying on a beach pretending my marriage wasn't wadding from the inside. I opened his cloud account. He didn't know I knew the password. His location history loaded slowly. A tiny pulsing dot on a map. Not far, not with her. Somewhere else entirely. Somewhere unexpected. A hotel. Not expensive, not romantic, not her style. But the timestamp told me everything. He had checked in right after I blocked him. Checked in alone. Stayed there every night. Alone. Alone. The betrayal twisted, shifted, changed shape. This wasn't infidelity. This was something else, something worse. He hadn't left me for another woman. He had left me for himself. I drove to the hotel with a calm that didn't belong to me. A borrowed calm. The kind people wear before a funeral. The receptionist looked up when I approached. A flicker of recognition. "You're his wife, right?" The confirmation felt like a blade sliding in clean. "Yes," I said. She hesitated. "He left something for you." My pulse stayed steady, but inside something sharpened. She handed me a sealed envelope. Room 217. His handwriting again, but the envelope was heavier this time. I went upstairs. The hall smelled like old carpet and disinfectant. I unlocked the door. The room was empty, but not abandoned. The bed was made, lights off. His toothbrush still on the sink. His cologne bottle sitting upright on the counter. He had lived here. He had chosen this room over the home we built. I opened the envelope. Inside were documents, receipts, bank transfers, signed papers. One line punched through the rest. Divorce petition, filed 2 days ago. My stomach tightened, not with pain, but with understanding. He wasn't running to someone, he was running from me, from the marriage, from the weight of pretending, from the quiet resentment that had grown between us like mold on untouched walls. The final page hit hardest. He had moved his belongings to a storage unit. Everything, every trace of himself removed cleanly from our home. And at the bottom, "I need to breathe without you." The cruelty wasn't in the words, it was in their softness. He wanted freedom, peace, silence. The silence I had given myself on that trip, he wanted permanently. I sat on the bed, documents spread around me like fragments of a crime scene. And something inside me clicked. He wasn't the villain. Not fully, but he wasn't innocent either, and neither was I. We had both stopped loving long before either of us admitted it. But he walked out first. He made the decision for both of us. And that was the betrayal. Not the leaving, the choice, made alone, behind my back. I didn't call him, didn't message, didn't beg or scream or ask why. Instead, I did something colder. I gathered his documents, organized them neatly, filed them by date. Then I walked into the hotel lobby and handed the receptionist a note. For him, I said. 4 words, sharp enough to bleed. You're free. So am I. I checked out his room myself, signed his name, settled his outstanding bill. Then I drove to the storage unit he thought I wouldn't find. The manager let me in with minimal questioning. Unit 141, metal door, cold lock. Inside, boxes, neatly stacked, labeled with his careful, disciplined handwriting. Work files, clothes, books he never finished, shoes he never wore. A life paused, not erased. I stood there for a long time, letting the truth settle. He hadn't moved in with her. He hadn't started a new life. He had simply stepped out of ours. Quietly, neatly, cleanly. A coward's escape. A gentle betrayal, but betrayal nonetheless. I did not destroy his things, did not vandalize, did not burn. No, too easy, too emotional. Instead, I rearranged. I moved every box, every item, every piece into perfect alphabetical order. Not for revenge, for message, for closure, for control. He would walk in expecting chaos. He would find organization. He would find the truth. I wasn't broken. I wasn't waiting. I wasn't hurt in the way he hoped or feared. I was done. I returned home, locked the door behind me this time. The silence greeted me again, but now it felt different. It felt like mine. I sat on the bedroom floor where his closet used to be full. The empty space didn't ache. It breathed. I traced the edges of the letter again, the one he left behind. Not with longing, with understanding. We didn't fall apart suddenly. We didn't collapse in fire or betrayal or dramatic confession. We eroded. Quietly, daily, softly, like water wearing down stone. And he chose to leave before acknowledging the body of the marriage we had both buried. He thought walking out first meant he won. But he forgot one thing. The person who leaves doesn't always finish the story. Sometimes it's the one who stays. I folded the letter carefully, placed it in a drawer, closed it gently. No tears, no rage, just clarity, just finality, just truth. When I turned off the light, the darkness felt clean. And as I lay down in the center of the bed that once had 2 sides, I whispered the only sentence that mattered, the sentence that sealed the ending neither of us had the courage to speak aloud. I didn't lose you. I simply stepped out of the silence you left behind.
How could you do this?